Hello and welcome. It is the 23rd day of July 2019. Video number 2 for the day. Like always, all trades, bets of alike within each his own risk and their own reward. And the where I'm going with this video, I'm going to start talking a little bit about Komodo and Theta crossing. I'm going to go over crypto coin market cap and really go over exactly that, the market cap numbers, talk about the differential of like the big and the low, and some of the ones near the top, the overall market cap. And talk about the market cap within, and you can't see the companies on the side. I'll make it at the time. We'll talk about some of the stock markets, some of them on the market cap, and Bitcoin as well. It's around 10,000. So without further ado, let's get started. Komodo Theta. Right now, you need 10 or so Theta to buy one Komodo. And if you've seen on Binance something about, hey, I get free Komodo, I think there's like an airdrop. What does this all mean? And quick look at it, to me, it's like I'm doing nothing. For it says here, Binance will support Komodo staking and launch a 250,000 Komodo initial staking reward airdrop. Binance will be adding support for Komodo staking starting July the 24th, which would be, as I'm doing this, 42 minutes from now. In addition to staking rewards, Binance also supports including Neo, Ontology, VeChain, Tron, and Stellar. And that's interesting now that I think about just right now because I get free gas just for holding Neo on my hardware wallet. That's exactly what I'm going to within Komodo. Starting July 24th, Binance will begin taking daily snapshot of Komodo balances at midnight their time. Komodo staking distribution will be calculated as follows. Komodo generated by each user, total KMD staking rewards by Binance, and I'm just thinking of something you could do to like deceive the system, and I won't do this. Uh, anyway, so this is the mathematics they do to determine how much you get, whatever for that. Basically, it means if you have Komodo on there, every so often you can get a little bit of free amount. And why would they give it to you? Well, they're getting free Komodo for holding it. I get free Komodo for holding it with my I'll just find it and tell you and write it down. And why write it down when I can just load the program, which is coming up? Ajama, Agama. Um, I control my private key. I'm not going to sign in. That'll show my balance and everything too. But every so often you get free Komodo, and it's interesting. It'll just add up every so often, so it's an okay small percentage. It's an inflationary coin, I guess. I know. But what I noticed every so often, just a little bit more here and there. And any time I can say, okay, I want them now, and they'll go in the blockchain, and in a few minutes they'll be mine. But if I don't ask, or if I don't accept them in that sense, or I don't push the button, I noticed the last time that I withdrew Komodo off my site, it was like, yep, send 60 of them, and yet I sent like a little under that, like 58 or whatever, change, because I had some free ones coming. They just withdrew it from them, like, whatever. So to me, do I need to have my Komodo on Binance to get free ones? No. Because of the fact that I already got them. Now, what I was thinking is, oh, why don't you just, if they're going to take a snapshot at midnight, what you do is you deposit it before then, the Komodo, so that at midnight they'd be available. It takes over an hour, so you'd have to do it at like an hour and a half, 2 hours before midnight. And then after midnight, you would draw them back to your hardware wallet back and forth. But they would see you're doing it, so, and for the amount that you get, I don't think it would be worth doing. Especially, it wouldn't be worth the risk. I have no way, no how. But either way, I always have a few Komodo on there anyway, and I mean just enough for one sell order. Not always, but usually, just because it takes that long. So if I ever need to sell Komodo, I can kind of do it instantly. So I have a little bit of funds on Binance, and one of that part of that little bit is enough for one sell order of Komodo. Okay, so now back to the chart. Daily term time frame, you can just see all of those up and down choppy moves. from. So you find where are some of the key lows and highs, and the this one is a low. We got a if you get it this high, but at the same point, if this is a high, this is a low because this is a high and this is a low. We got a key high, and then you look at this volatility. Do we want to count this one? 939 up to 1082. You're like, okay, that's $1.50 or 1.5. That's well over 10%. Yeah, I'd trade that. I'm going to count that. And there might be some others that you might be missing. How about? But either way, you still got this key low, this key high, and even in this to this degree, you got these lows and this high. Whatever you can do with this, if you can get it. This low, this high, this low, this high. Same thing with this low if you can get it to this high, but either way, it's still, at least as of now, at this low. And the amount of moves like this beforehand. Okay, we got this low and high in there, and this little, and I mean, you have to be fast to be able to get this one. And yeah, that was at November 30th date. I mean, all the theta ones are going to look like that. If theta's on the right hand side, it's going to be down. If it's the first one on the list, it's going to be up. And in order for you to be fast, you had to have been there at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, New York time. And already at the bottom end. And to get this one here, that was in the morning. You wake up on the morning of December 1st. So technically, I guess it was December 1st move. No, throw that out. You wake up on the morning of November 30th, it would have happened. But some of the other, I mean, look at all these other up and down moves. Just June, July of 2018, August. Nice back and forth choppy action. This is the type of movements I'm trying. I mean, I should be trading this, whatever I got. I mean, Komodo works good with LITECOIN as well. Is this all I'm getting? I don't know why other data is not loading. Maybe that's all I got. Well, I guess 2018. That's when Theta started. That makes sense. So anyway, that's enough for that chart. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. It's currently in at 9,900. And if there's any trick, if you want to take a look at, you want me to show whatever alt like ratio combination, let me know of. Hey, I want to see this coin and this coin. So I'd be interested to see a bunch as well. Just so let me know if there's any you want to see, and I can put a chart up there. Especially if there's one you're trading, you don't have access to this. You might want to. It'd be just cool to see the chart, I would imagine. So I most certainly can present one for you. Let me know. And if there's a whole bunch you want, just which one? You give me one, give me two. For now, anyway. And yeah, so with that being said, this is the Bitcoin chart on the daily from this April move. This is the deepest we've had for any type of correction. I mean, there was an okay one here in June. But after breaking down below the 18 average of lows noticeably for a good amount, for a good amount of days, we have been resisting the 18 average of really closes, but staying within the lower end of the 18 band. Now exit of the lows right now. We're going to be closing in about 34 minutes. So this is what the close is. And I don't really care too much what an exact close number is because everything's just always moving live. But I'm looking at, is this going to be a spot where it's looking pretty bad? Because one of the things I mentioned is if you're looking for a key play, you want to wait for a clear break. So you want to wait for a clear break of the support. And that would mean saying, okay, I want to go have any type of short bet of some sort, maybe somewhere into here. Well, one of the ways, if you think it's going to happen, is okay, if it's breaking down below here, I want to do it. And maybe you want to do it for a sell point here, or a cover point, whatever. Or maybe you want to do it here for this same exact price target. Always look at the strategy for how you want to do it. But when I see excitation like this, to me, you got to be wary that this thing has probably got some more leg room to go lower. But we're still in this range, and until we have a clear break, it's of either side, it's just going to stay in this choppy format. And then if it does break to one side, all I'm going to be stating is we're going to look for another leg lower, and another leg lower means the at least probably to a certain point. And in this case, if it breaks down below here, you got to think that it's going to go at least to the low 8,000s. Now let's talk about the market cap. And I was on the phone with an old friend of mine earlier today, and we're talking about different cryptos and where to go. And I'm mentioning, well, uh, as far as coins, Bitcoin, I'll get into the 178. But I was referring to Ripple, which I was looking at that and I'm thinking, and all I was looking at were these three. And I was saying, my personal opinion is I don't know how well Ethereum's going to last. I wouldn't be surprised if it leaves the top five and goes deep into the top 10. I mean, if it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's what I'm thinking. And I think it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin loses its dominance. And it's a huge dominance. Since day number one, Bitcoin has been by far the largest cryptocurrency over any other individual one. Right now, they got 178. Ethereum's in second place at 23. It's got to go up about 6, 7 times more just to get to this number. And then each one below that, well, Ripple's got to do even better than that. Because Ripple's at and right now it's my favorite to be the first to be number one is Ripple. But 13 into 178. That means it would have to go up like 13, 14 times better. But who controls Ripple? How has it came from? How long has it been around for? It is the banker's coin. And with that being said, it's just what that's just what it is. And what I was even saying too, and I was saying as far as like Ripple, it's not that volatile. And then I was talking about Litecoin after that, and I didn't even realize Litecoin was number four on this. I was like, whoa, my goodness. But what I said just before, it's safe. When it goes down, it doesn't go down as much. But when it goes up, it won't go up as much either. If all these coins have these kick-ass 10, 20, 30 times gains, well, Litecoin will have a 6 or 7 times gain. That's just how it goes. And if all these other coins go down 14 times, well, Litecoin will go down 4 times maybe. It's just how it goes. And I'm looking at it in there. Well, this is exactly my point. The fact that it's not been doing good, and it's up to fourth right now. I mean, this thing was recently before I was seeing it like sixth or seventh. $91.73. Down, it was like 130 something recently. Its high was like 300. Its low was like 25. A recent low, of course, at that. But it's at $5 billion. So it's got to go up like 2.5 times just to catch up to Ripple, and then it's got to do that same X move after that to catch up to Bitcoin. So right now, what's 178 divided by like about five ish area? Well, that's like 17. It's okay. Well, 17, 34 times, 30 some, over 30 times more. And then we got Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, which is pretty much battling between 4 and 5 right now, I suppose. And Bitcoin Cash, I wouldn't be surprised if in time it's worth more than Bitcoin. But I think that's going to take a lot longer. Now for that, you can check by price because when we look at the circulating supply, there's not much of a difference in the two. Bitcoin Cash is 17.9 million. Bitcoin is 17.8. And really there's less than that. If you think about it in the sense of how many are dead bitcoins because there's no way anyone could access because the private keys are pretty much dead. And there's no way a human can ever access those private keys again. How many of those bitcoin are in that category? There's got to be some, but maybe advanced technology might be able to figure it out somehow. I don't know how. But now let's take a look at these numbers in here. So yeah, we got 4 billion, 3 billion. Number 10 is 1.6 billion. Number 25, Ontology, about a half a billion. What's number 50 at? 140 billion. 100 billion gets broken at about 65 coins. And number 100 is in at 57. Okay. So let's now go over to the stock market side that I'm going over. Because what place would Bitcoin be in if it was a stock? Well, the number one stock is over $1 trillion. And there's only one stock at this moment in that category of being a trillionaire. Here we have US stock market, and this is sorted by market cap. Number one is Microsoft, 1,058 billion, which means 1.05 trillion, and Amazon is that's they're close, and they might have recently been at, and they might soon be at as well, a market cap of about $1 trillion as well. That's a lot larger than the Bitcoin number. For Bitcoin is at 178. So where would Bitcoin squeeze into it? Which stock is higher than 178, and then the one after that, which is lower than that? Well, let's find it. And we're on the right hand side, right in here. So Unilever NV Silver New York shares is more expensive than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is worth more than HSBC Holdings. So let's just take a look at the companies that are more expensive than Bitcoin. PepsiCo, Anheuser-Busch, the beer company, Oracle, Comcast, Wells Fargo, Merck, Boeing, Toyota Motor Company, Novartis. I don't even want to pronounce that. Coca-Cola, Taiwan Semiconductor type, Verizon, Intel Corporations, Home Depot, AT&T, Pfizer, Chevron, United Health, Cisco, Walt Disney, Royal Dutch Shell. They got two different things: Bank of America, Mastercard, Procter and Gamble, Exxon Mobil, Walmart, Johnson and Johnson, J.P. Morgan Chase, Visa, Alibaba Group Holdings, Berkshire Hathaway, Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. Okay, how about the entire crypto market? What place would that be in? Well, the entire market cap is pretty much a little over a quarter billion at 274. And at 274, that would still mean it would be between Bank of America and the Royal Dutch Shell. So Bank of America, one bank in the United States, has a stronger, larger market cap than the entire cryptocurrency market, albeit just barely now. And the same is true with MasterCard. A little less barely, but still just barely for that is MasterCard. And Microsoft is about 4 times larger right now than the crypto space. So I'm trying to think if these numbers, like, oh my goodness, Bitcoin at 10,000, way too high. These prices, oh, a market cap of 270 or a quarter trillion dollars. There's no way you can get to $1 trillion. Okay, that's just some interesting ways of looking at it. And we'll finish this video off with in gold against DGB. I don't know how many people actually are fans of this over the long-term time frame, but it used to be you needed 25 million DGB for an ounce of gold back in 2015. Well, that's about the most expensive as it was. Then the price settled into about 4 million, about 4 million you needed. Not as much, but it got really cheap. Those who were able to buy gold for close to 10,000. I mean, now it's 130,000. Volatility? Possibly, yeah, I say so. However, as far as this recovery is concerned, gold is holding in there pretty good. So we can see this little level of resistance that it had from 2017. It's holding in there. Getting above. A lot of traders, and they see that this price goes to like 197. Everyone's going to see this. They'll be like, hey guys, girls, notice it's over 200,000 now. You need 200,000 DGB for gold. That's this thing's only going to go higher, and it probably would. But we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.